Hey Cajun family, and welcome back. In this last video that we posted, we started to actually put up some of these 30 by 40 foot trusses that we have. As y'all can see, it was a little bit sketchy and we needed just a few more inches of clearance to be able to put these up top, and we did not get that. So we went ahead and just set them back down on the ground, tried to figure out a solution, a quick fix if you may, which in any type of situation like this, a quick fix is probably not what we should have been looking for. We ended up having just enough clearance, and y'all, whenever I tell you we were just over the top of these clips, y'all, we were just over the top. But lo and behold, we did end up actually getting them put in place. Now we needed to have them shift just a little bit, but overall, we got them. So we put the bolts in, and with the bolts, we put a washer, a lock washer, and the nut. And this is what's gonna secure the wood to the transition hoodis. So really, all that we can say about this is we probably should have thought this through just a little bit more, and luckily today we did.
Picking back up where we left off, we've kind of got to make a decision now, because now we're going to be putting these trusses up one by one instead of by twos. Y'all had left a lot of comments on Wednesday's video letting us know different ways that we could, maybe put a pallet on the forks, different ways that we could hoist these trusses all the way up on top of this structure. And a lot of those were really, really good ideas.
Now these first two trusses, they were kind of an animal all in their own because we didn't have anything to support just a singular truss. That's the reason we built both of them together and set them up there. It was kind of a hairy situation. But here on out, like Lydia said, we're just gonna stab one of them up there at a time. And I thought one of the coolest comments that we got was, hey, just put a pallet on the forks, and that's gonna give you some more lift, even if you gotta put blocks or something on it. What a truly good idea. The only situation is there's only two of us, and we're gonna have to be shimmying these, doing that Jimbo shimmy on one side or the other to get these things exactly where we want them in alignment to be able to screw them in place. Somebody
else said that we should have a cherry picker, and I firmly agree with that. They actually have one that goes on the forks of your tractor that I would love to own one day. But sadly, we do not have that here today. So instead of doing that, I think we're just gonna bring something out of retirement that we had originally built just for this purpose. I don't really know why we didn't start with it in the first place, but sometimes you just gotta be reminded. And thank you to everybody who commented to remind us that we had this very, very important hoodis.
Have you ever had a task that seemed to be just out of your reach? So have we. It's time to introduce to you the Extension LiftMaster Hoodis Pro. With the Extension LiftMaster Hoodis Pro, you can easily reach and lift items that were previously inaccessible. Featuring state-of-the-art backyard Cajun engineering, this device is a game changer. Simply attach your straps, chains, rope, and etc. to the shackle provided with easy-to-operate tightening and loosening features. The Extension LiftMaster Hoodis Pro is unavailable at all major retailers.
This is Coolify Air. It's not just a neck fan, it's actually a personal air conditioner. Coolify Air is the inventor of wearable air conditioning, and this thing brings serious cool tech to your everyday grind. Especially to us down here in South Louisiana, when even if there's overcast, there's about 100% humidity almost every single day. And y'all, it is already in the high 80s down here without the sun being out. The Coolify Air uses Truss's custom Coology system, basically saying that it cools your neck with a 47.9 cubic centimeter cooling heating surface, custom thermoelectric plate, and 36 pairs of cooling particles. Honestly, y'all, that's just fancy talk for you feel relief almost instantly. Unlike neck fans that just push hot air around, this thing actually lowers your skin temperature. And it's like wearing an AC unit you don't have to actually plug in. We use a temp gun on it to see how much it drops, and y'all, this legit dropped the temperature in just seconds. And y'all, get this, it's got patented airflow blades, a 5,000 RPM motor, and can switch between cool, heat, and fan modes. And it weighs just 395 grams and fits snug without restricting movement. Honestly, y'all, I forget whenever I'm wearing it sometimes. It's got 24 hours of fan time on one single charge and all day cooling while I'm out here sweating in this Louisiana heat. Yeah, I'll take it. So whether we're outside doing some yard work, whether we're back in the swamp, working at the shop, or just roasting in this southern heat, Coolify Air is a total game changer. Now, if you need something handheld and compact, the Coolify Iva packs a 17,000 RPM motor and drops temperatures by up to 10 degrees Celsius. The Coolify 2S and Cyber models bring more pro features, like year-round temperature regulation, graphene cooling tech, and personal climate control. The Cyber's got 33mm fan blades and weighs under 500 grams for serious cooling power without the bulk. I've tried a lot of cooling gear, Jim's definitely tried a lot of cooling gear, but this is the first one that really makes us say, all right, this thing is actually doing something. So like I said, whether we're working in this sun or just having some fun, Coolify Air keeps us calm, cool, and a lot less sweaty. So thank you Coolify Air for sponsoring this video. And we're back. Have you sold any of these Hootesses since then?
I felt like that was a pretty solid advertisement, but no, we did not sell one. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, let me unveil for you the one, the only LiftMaster Hootess Pro. Now the LiftMaster Hootess Pro was manufactured entirely and specifically for hanging the trusses on our porch. Well, we're building another porch and we have trusses. So we got it out of retirement, we're gonna put it back to use, and this is gonna be a much safer option than trying to do the old heave-ho over the support beams and, you know, Lydia doing the dance, little balancing act on top of the step ladder, which we did not have a camera on that. I wish that we would. You should have seen her walking this step ladder like she was on stilts. I was pretty impressed. Yep, and there was no Lydias harmed in the making of that film.
I think that the only reason I was not harmed in the making of that was because I'm roughly a few inches away from 6 foot tall. So luckily I could step back, but it was still a scary experience. So as y'all can see behind me, Jim has actually welded on 9 more sets of these transition Hootesses. So that means that we can put 9 more trusses up, which works out perfect because we have just enough bracing material to do 9. So that's the goal today. Hopefully we get there, and I guess it's gonna be time to hit her. Now before we set these trusses up here, we are gonna be taking a different approach this time. I think last time we just tied a rope to one side of these trusses, and this time we're gonna be tying 2. This is gonna help to really be able to maneuver these trusses exactly where we need them, because whenever we put these on the last time, we did not have these little transition Hootess clips. Close enough. And this time we are gonna have to be a lot more specific about where they land. So having these 2 ropes set on both sides is gonna help tremendously. And lucky for us, we got 3 inches of rain last night. So we're working through that. Now it doesn't seem as bad as it typically would have seemed because everything around here was kind of dry, so a lot of this grass has been soaking it up, but there are still some puddles, and there's actually a puddle right dead center of where we're gonna be pulling this tractor, so we're just gonna have to deal with some mud, but we'll deal with mud any day.
I sure wish that rain would have drowned some of these fire ants.
What?
I don't know.
Sadly, that's not how that works.
The fire ants is kind of like grass, you know? I swear they get bigger and fatter. They must feed off of this rain.
I don't know. Where I'm from, we didn't have them.
I wish that was the case here.
Does it look like I'm running in slow-mo?
Hey, look how excited that Hootess Pro looks.
Just excited to get some use.
Well, my original idea was to put a rope on each side and pull back to the tractor, but that's not gonna work because I was counting on them to balance themselves, but they're not gonna do it. One side's gonna be heavier than the other. I'm assuming because all the rain came in blowing from this side and that side's dry. Due to the old water weighing 8 pounds a gallon and this side of the truss being saturated, don't look like that's gonna work. But that's all right, we'll shift gears and we'll just put the rope on the high side. That way we're pulling down and can level it and still be able to pivot it. I was just trying to do away with having to be able to walk back and forth and keep our hands on this thing while we was getting it put in place, but it's not really that big of a deal.
Well, this one might be the worst one since it's on the top.
Maybe so.
I mean, I highly doubt it if we got 3 inches, but wishful thinking. Optimism, honey.
You know, I don't know who put this rope up last, but I would almost say that they were probably on the verge of being inebriated.
I bet you're not wrong.
Well, I might could throw shade, but I really don't know where this rope came from. You can tie your thing.
Tie your things up. All right, rope's on. There we go. Just to show y'all how uneven this is, that side's on the ground and I'm 5'10". So roughly 6.5 feet-ish, probably closer to 7. No, surely I can't reach 7 feet.
I bet you can. Well, yeah, you can. You're almost 6 foot. Your arm's further than a foot long. Hey, is this enough rope?
I think that that's like 4 times enough. Be
Okay.
perfect.
Perfect.
Time to float her in. Floating's done pretty delicately.
It depends on who's on the control.
That's why I chose that adjective. So that means that you're gonna run the tractor, right?
Don't matter to me. I can hold on. Yeehaw!
That's worse than I thought that it was gonna be.
Well, that's what happens when you got some good old puppies that likes to dig holes that holds water. It's a price to pay, you know.
Yikes.
That was Gus getting back at you for that terrible haircut you gave.
On the first 2, we ended up putting 6 blocks in there. And that's because it was gonna be on this far side, so we wanted it to be very, very structurally sound. So this next one, we're just gonna come in the middle and put a block, and then put 2 blocks up where the sides and the ends go out, where they meet up together. So for now, 3 blocks. If we need to always go back in before we put this roof on, we can add some more.
Well, you know, if there wasn't going to be anything on top of the roof before we put the roofing metal up there, I would say we would probably add some more blocks, but we're going to strip this whole roof, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Looks good on the bottom.
As long as it looks good on the bottom, I'm good with it.
Ready?
Yep.
That might have to involve some type of truss balancing aerobics.
Well, if we put them on these cross members, they'll probably be good.
Okay.
Maybe on these shorter ones, the ones that's lower.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, let's try that. See what it looks like. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Ain't but a 2x4 block, so if we waste a couple, we waste a couple. A lot of people don't like to use chains. And the reason is sometimes they're a lot of work. And they're not as soft as like lifting straps and things like that. But a chain can be your best friend if you know how to use a chain. Exhibit A. Now, with a lifting strap and a shackle, I would have to shimmy my fat butt up there and go up there and do a little twisting number to get the strap out. But with a chain, you just see which way the hook is, and you just throw that chain some slack, and just like that, you get a headache.
I hope it doesn't hit you on the way down. It is so hot today. It's like 87, I think today is supposed to be. So it's rather scorching outside. So it feels good to be in here. That first one was floated in there so nicely. So I think I'm just gonna let you float this next one in there real nicely. And I'll run this little rope hoodis that we got going on.
You're more than welcome to drive the tractor. You drive it good as I can.
I'll wait till it gets a little bit hotter.
Take advantage of that AC. Huh? I can't blame you there. You know, once you get a kind of a halfway plan together and it starts rolling, these trusses go up pretty fast.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They're way easier. And it's a little bit breezy, but it's really not bad. Since I'm already here, I'm gonna save you a chance of a headache. There you go. Alrighty.
Perfect. 2 down, 20 more to go.
We just got a weather alert saying that there's a bad thunderstorm just a few miles away, and you can actually tell that this breeze is picking up from it. So instead of just leaving these trusses up here with just the 3 blocks, we're gonna go ahead and get these transition hoodises screwed into place. That way, we know for fact they're sturdy enough to hopefully withhold these 20-mile-an-hour gust of winds we're fixing to get.
I just don't get it, y'all. I thought when I was done with welding for a little while, it would stop this crap. But no, no, no. I don't know. It could be worse. At least we got 2 of them done, and we'll see when the storm comes through here in a minute. Maybe it won't last too long. Maybe it'll just be a pop-up kind of thing. Get western for a minute and be gone so we can get the rest of these things put up here. But man, we're chomping at the bits wanting to get this roof put together.
Oh, I know.
Yep, but if we don't get some bolts putting these last 2 truss, and we do get a good wind, we'll be digging them out of the backyard. So we gotta get that done right now.
I'm just gonna back it up. I'm not gonna go put it away in hopes that this storm's not too bad. Sound like winter?
Sounds like a winter to me. We'll get all this stuff put up, get everything done, and we won't even get a shower. But if we wouldn't put all these bolts in, and she wouldn't get the tractor out of the way, all those kind of things, we would get a monsoon with gale force winds. That's just the way it goes.
There was a wasp in here. I had to open the door. He was trying to get out.
You and them wall. You can hear all the rain frogs starting to holler in the background. They know it's coming. Ain't that crazy? Bright, pretty sunshiny day, and you won't hear that. And there'll be a storm coming in, and here comes the rain frogs. Brr, brr, brr. Like, will y'all shut up? Quit calling the rain. I mean it. Stop.